So, hello, welcome back to, part 2 of making Flying Fortress. Now, the term Flying Fortress, you'd usually think I was referring to, the B-29 Flying Fortress, which is a plane which was, a pretty powerful bomber. But no, I'm just trying to make an actual Flying Fortress. Now, in the last video, we kind of just did the functionality, and in this, video, we're going to add in more of the weapons, and, a bit of the functionality as well. Now, we're actually going to be testing it out at the end of this video, so yeah. So, for lots of this video, I was just adding thrusters here and there, because this thing needed a lot of them. Now, this was mostly to keep it floating, and also make it go forward, since this thing had quite a lot of trouble just going forward. Now, one of the main problems was that this thing was pretty heavy. Now, it did need a lot of thrusters. Eventually we got there. And now this thing can kind of go forwards. Well, not really. As you can see, that happens. Now, I didn't really know what to do with this, so I did just add more thrusters and hoped it worked. And it got better, but it never really got fixed, so it's just going to have to be like that. So now I'm adding, getting rid of thrusters. Now, the problem is the balloon, still weighs a lot, basically lags behind, and, it just creates problems. So I'm trying to sort it out. But, yeah, it still doesn't really work. Now, this was pretty good when it did start to work, although it was a bit random and it's not exactly the best. Now, I had to add more thrusters for turning, since it's quite hard to turn I don't know, 20-ton castle. So, yeah. But anyway, now we're actually going to start on the weapons. Now, I'm just going to make a simple spud turret, which will go on the two front, castle turrets. Now, these would have, a lot of spud guns, so they could actually destroy anything small bots that were in front of the castle, or anything that's made out of cardboard. Now, this was pretty simple to make, but anyway. Now, these turrets aren't going to be best. They'll only be able to tilt 90 degrees in each direction. Now, this could be seen as a bad thing, but it's also good, so you can't actually shoot the balloon that keeps the castle up, so it's kind of important. Now, my plan was just to make one and then copy and paste it, since that's the easiest way to do it, rather than actually make two. And this thing looks pretty good. Now, it doesn't work yet, but it'll have to do. It also has lots of spud gun, which is also pretty menacing. So it's pretty simple. We're just going to use, the lock bearing feature on a normal driver's seat, which means that it'll just lock the bearing, so it won't go back to its normal position, which is a lot simpler than doing, other stuff. Now, I just made this quick loop that would make it, shoot very, very quickly. Now, it's not exactly the most simple, but it's pretty good. Now, I just need to hook up all the spud guns, twice for each turret. This is going to take a long time. But now it works. It fires, relatively quickly, and it'll probably destroy any haybots in, 4 seconds, I don't know. But it'll do pretty well. Now, I haven't tested it from this point to see how good it is, but never mind. I also added this thing which, make the spud guns fire ever. But I ended up getting rid of it, since I only wanted to see what would happen. When I started working on the, proper cannon, now this would fire large explosives, so it would actually do lots of damage to things, no matter what they are made out of. Now this would basically just use a spud gun hitting cardboard to just propel the explosive very far, so it's also pretty simple design. And also you'd reload it through this little grate in the floor, which was also pretty well designed, since it's pretty easy to reload. Now I did have to connect up lots of spud guns to this, but this is incredibly simple, since you can't even, rotate it. All you need to do is just point the castle in one direction, and it'll fire. Now that was just a piece of metal, but it fired really, really quite far, so I think it will have to do. Now, I haven't actually tested out the explosives yet, so I'm worried I'll blow up my whole creation, so I need to save it first. So yeah, this thing still isn't perfect, but it's actually getting pretty close to actually being done. There are a few more things we need to do, add a few more thrusters, but it's actually going to do the job alright. So yeah, basically this entire time I was just adding thrusters. Well, not the entire time, but for lots of the time I would just add thrusters. So let's test this thing out. So first we're going to test this thing against farm bots. Now it did pretty well. I mean, they couldn't actually do anything, but they did shoot at us, which obviously in creative mode doesn't matter. If we weren't in creative mode, it'd probably destroy us. Now, we can't actually shoot any of our proper weapons down on them, because we can't actually shoot directly down, so we just have to kill them with our own spud gun, which is a bit awkward. Now, it's not the best, but I'm going to say it did pretty well. Now, it did take a long time to kill them all, because you have to, well, shoot them loads, and also, like, they wouldn't all die at once. But that did pretty well. So for the second test, it's tanks. And of course, they don't actually do anything, but currently we're just going to shoot at them a bit, which was not too bad. And they actually ended up getting destroyed in a minute. As you can see, none of them can really do anything anymore. They don't have the cannons, and some of them can't really, well, turn. But now we're going to go something a bit bigger. This is a battleship. Well, a small one. Now, I kid you not, that battleship is currently being held together like a few blocks. If we break those few blocks, yeah, it starts to sink. As you can see, immediately it starts to sink. Now, this is due to bad design, since obviously I made the battleship, but also because there's a sensor which is always on, which puts thrusters on that makes it float. Otherwise, it can't float. So yeah. But next is the Mega Tank. Now, this tank is pretty big, and it's actually pretty good. The main feature is the cannons, which has two of, which fire large explosives really far. Now, you can't see much because I'm aiming through the sight, but as you can see, in one shot we completely destroyed the balloon. Now, my aim's pretty bad, but anyway. So yeah, I did have to reload eventually, since like I've kind of ran out of ammo. But it's pretty simple to reload, so it didn't matter too much. So this Mega Tank's actually destroying, well, this flying fortress. But also, we'll find out soon that it's probably not the best thing to go against it with. As you can see, the fortress cannot fly anymore. It's completely destroyed. You can't really control it, and loads of thrusters are gone. You can't even like use the turrets because like all the engine and like the logic is gone. But it still kind of floats, which is not really good. Now you might think the Mega Tank could absolutely destroy this in a battle, but that's the thing, it probably wouldn't. Now, the reason why it probably wouldn't is that, well, you see, you could just shoot the explosive inside the tank, and now it just blows up. Like, there's nothing it can really do, which is a bit of a flaw on my half, and as you can see, it no longer has a turret. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Now, this is the first video I've actually made of 2 parts, and it was actually pretty fun. So yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you haven't watched part 1, well, I can't really be able to link it, so it'll just click on my channel and it'll be the video I uploaded before this one. As you can see, this thing does destroy lots of things. It isn't the best, but that's partly because I didn't like put enough work into it at the start to actually make it better than it was. Well, I'm still pretty proud of it. It's the first like wacky thing I've ever made, and I quite enjoyed making it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and bye. Also, comment anything else that you want me to make, and I'll probably make them since I'm running out of ideas. Bye.